toxic masculinity.
All right, that's it for the news. We are done, and I would love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions or comments, it looks like we have one super chat, but I can't find it, so I'm sorry, dude, but I'm not going to read it. But if you want to write at Toxic Space Masculinity, capital T, capital M, hopefully I will be able to find it and read it. That's at Toxic Space Masculinity, not underscore, space. All right, let's see. Frank James writes, both poor and fat. Poor guy. I was not fat. I was very skinny and hot, and then I got rich and fat. And by rich, I mean I can afford to eat. That's my definition of rich. When you're very poor, it's a very low bar for rich. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. I can't, yeah, there's not a lot of, you guys aren't saying a lot of stuff, so I might just end the show. Let's hear. Binary Recoil writes, news redacted tonight. Started running the Slace Police angle around 18 months ago. I don't have any idea what you're saying. Sorry, I don't know what that means. All right. Frank James also writes, ironic, the left is more likely to live in Turth. Get it? Because it's imaginary. Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, actually, guys, I'm putting out a new Epic of Turth story. Somebody asked me for it the other day, and just by total coincidence, there was a news story about Rachel Maddow freaking out about the new Arizona audit. And I'm like, I can't really report this in the way that I want to report it because YouTube will like delete it. So I'm like, I'm going to have to do this as an Epic of Turth story. So it just so happened there was a story I needed to do as Epic of Turth, and somebody had complained that I hadn't done it. Shout out to Aston, says David Crawford. Aston he was sleeping there. I guess he's gone upstairs or something like that. Aston, where are you, buddy? I don't see him. I don't know. He's around. Somebody says hi. Let's see here. Jeff Beal says, how do you feel about the Biden? I forgot about that. The Biden trying to tell us that we need to all get vaccinated. Look, I think encouraging Americans to get vaccinated is a good thing, but requiring Americans to get vaccinated is a tyrannical thing. A lot of the stuff that they're doing to try to require Americans to be vaccinated, I think is a problem. I just read recently that the European Union is not going to let Americans into the European Union unless they've been vaccinated. That's a problem for me because I was planning to go to Europe this fall. And so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I have to work that out because I don't want to get the vaccine. And you guys might think, if you don't want to get the vaccine, that means you don't think it's safe. Not really. I do think the vaccine is safe. I do trust it. Valeria is a little bit more skeptical than I am. But because Valeria and I have gone for so long without having caught the coronavirus, and because we have traveled so much, we visited so many people, and we've been to so many parties, and we've been to so many events, we kind of think that maybe we had it in 2019 because LA was like the first region to get COVID, and then it went away. It didn't go away, but we think that we got COVID and then we became immune to it. But you only have antibodies for so long. So even though I had an antibody test in early 2020, it didn't show up. It didn't show up as positive. So it looked like I had never had COVID. But they say that your antibodies only last in your body in significant numbers for like a little while, and then they go away. But you always have that. You always have a defense in your system encoded, so that if you are attacked by that virus again, you will produce antibodies again and destroy it. So it could be that we have an immunity to COVID already, and if we have an immunity, even if there's a very, very slight risk of some kind of negative reaction to the vaccine, why take the risk if we're already immune? So because we suspect that we're already immune to COVID, I'm not going to take it. It's not to say I don't trust it. It's not to say I think it's bad. I'm just trying to be rational about this. I don't think we can. I think that we have an immunity to it. We've run the gauntlet so much. I mean, at the beginning, we wanted to catch COVID because Valeria wanted to continue to be able to work, and we're relatively young and healthy. So we thought, it won't be that severe. We'll get over it. Then she can go work again, and she can say, well, I have an immunity to it, so I don't have to worry about it again. But we could never catch it. We could never catch it. Rightful King of the Polls says, when are things going to stop being insane? Do you think the world will ever be normal again like it was in the 90s? Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I think that it's such a good question. You actually made me pause and think. It's such a good question. I think that we have figured out in our society that there are so many resources to go around. There are so many resources that can be distributed that, in terms of like people who have a problem or have an issue that we need to support, that we need to help out, because we have a kind of welfare state in America, right? We have so much excess money and resources in America now that we have to decide how to divvy it up. And there's always going to be people who say, I'm a victim, I need that stuff, whatever that is, right? And beyond the excess resources that we have that we take in taxes, there's also the excess resources that we have that we give in charity. And so there will always be people who pretend to be victims in order to prey upon people who want to give to charity. There will always be people that pretend to be victims in order to take money from the welfare state. There's always going to be people who play victim to get free stuff and also to get attention and all this kind of stuff. So so to some degree, this is normal. I think in the 90s we had this, in the 80s we had this as well. It's just become more of a science than an art now. Right? Like people have, sort of like sports. It used to be that people would have innate athletic ability. They would practice, they would become better, and then they would become like, professional tennis player or something like that. Now we have sports science, right? We've turned all this into a science. So now we can take people with innate ability. Not only do they practice, but they practice correctly. They take video of their performance, and then they create, they alter things just like a little teeny bit here, a little teeny bit there. They take all the right drugs, they take all the right supplements, they take all the right, they eat all the right food. And so now everything's down to a science. And I think that we're taking the whole phenomenon of the, being a victim as a benefit, right? And we're taking that from something that is just is a kind of performance art that people have enjoyed since the beginning of time. I'm a victim, help me, be nice to me. Oh, I'm a victim. Now it's becoming a science, right? People are starting to figure out, it's a business, right? It's kind of like extortion. We're extorting people based on them feeling bad. Oh, do you feel bad? Do you want to make the world a better place? Well, then you should give me money because I'm oppressed, right? And they're kind of figuring out exactly what the key words are, exactly how they need to do it in order to steal from people. So this is all one big con. Will this ever get better? I don't think so. I think it's just going to get worse and worse and worse forever because people are going to get better and better at conning people. It's becoming something that's a kind of organized, loosely organized kind of thing now. I mean, look at Black Lives Matter. They collected a reported $90 million last year. It was obviously a lot more than that. The woman who started Black Lives Matter, she's gotten paid just an insane amount of money for her books. She's got a Netflix deal. I don't know how much money she's been able to get from other sources, but I think she's probably got millions and millions of dollars from a variety of sources. She bought all those houses. She clearly doesn't mind investing in the capitalist system, despite the fact she says she's a communist. So it's a great question, rightful King of the Polls. I don't think it'll get better. I think it'll get worse. The way that we fix it is we combat it and we educate people to recognize it for what it is. Unfortunately, the school system, like as I talked about earlier in the show, promotes it as valid. It promotes this stuff as valid. They're saying, no, black people are victims, gays are victims, women are victims. We need to believe these people, believe her. Black Lives Matter. All this crap that they keep telling us. Oh yeah, no. The society is systemically racist. So they're creating a system that facilitates the con, right? Facilitates con artists. So we now have a criminal class that's able to con people out of their money and they're able to do it with the assistance. They're being facilitated by this whole organization. There's so many people that make money off of this. You can be a college professor now basically by saying white people are evil. That's now, a credential that can be used. It's just ridiculous. All right, I think people are getting a little bit sick and tired of me, and I'm getting sick and tired of me too. So we're going to end the show here, and tomorrow hopefully we'll have Valeria back. She hasn't written me, so I don't think she's watching the show, but I'll ask her. Maybe she'll be back, maybe she won't. I think she's supposed to work again tomorrow, but it might be a short day, so we'll see. Anyway, until then, it's always awesome talking to you guys. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. Interesting news day. Hopefully tomorrow will be the same. All right, until then, good night. Toxic masculinity.